Let me say this. They're all 7. Lust is the biggest one.
Yes.
And greed is the second biggest one.
Perfect.
Of your tattoos?
Yeah. Oh, well, it's because it's 7 deadly sins. The 7 skulls are the 7 deadly sins.
Your tattoos on your left arm are all...
Is all the 7 deadly sins. So this is wrath. So it's an anatomically correct skull with a bullet hole. This is gluttony. So it's all the extra teeth. Envy is back here because envy is actually, it has no eyes because envy is blindness to God's gifts. Greed it's a skull with the collection box and the coins are falling through.
Wow.
This is pride, and what it is an anatomically perfect skull, and that's the Lucifer sigil, which is Lucifer was the angel that was thrown out of heaven for the sin of pride. And then up here is lust. And so, like, I have the seven.
I love lust.
And wrath was the bullet hole. Yeah, lust is my favorite.
Lust with the little...
lust is job security.
Yeah. The lust with the Viagra is great, except when you're alone at home and no one's come over.
Yeah, and then you're sort of like, well, I guess I could hang a hat on this, you know.
You never roll up your sleeves in court, do you?
No, I don't. You know what? One time in the summer, I did because it was, like, hot. And I was like, fuck it. Like, people know I have tattoos. I don't care. And I just took my jacket off and rolled up my sleeves. And one of the other lawyers was like, oh, you're not wearing a jacket, Mr. Sexton? I was like, what are you wearing? I'm fucking cold. Like, yeah, no. This is like, people know I have tattoos. Like, calm down, So, yeah. I have to tell you, I'm more recognized on the street when I have this. Like, if I go out with just a sweater and stuff is covered, like, I don't get recognized as much. I'm just another white dude with a pointy nose. Yeah. It's become sort of part of my brand.
Where was this guy 20 years ago?
Practicing law in New York, mostly representing W-2 wage earners, like a cop. We used to call the New York special was like a cop and a teacher, 401k, house.
Yeah.
There's nothing boring, boring like typical divorces. That's what I was doing.
Yeah, so Ashley, you've been married twice.
Yes, thank you. That's how good the drugs are in L.A. Yeah.
And you probably could have used James's...
Yeah, I definitely.
I mean, certainly on the second one, the prenup I could have done.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
totally.
Like, that would have been good.
You were married to Shannon Doherty?
Yeah, Shannon Doherty, yeah,
And
when
then-
I was...
and then Angie Everhart.
18, yeah, Angie, yeah.
How old was she? You were 18? She was.
Which one?
Shannon Doherty.
She was like 3 or 4 years older than me.
Oh, wow. So that's like peak Shannon Doherty.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well done. Yeah.
Yeah, that was...
That's like Billy Bob Thornton, Angelina Jolie. Like, he got Pik Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's really good.
I went to school with Angelina. She was great. Yeah.
That's a rarefied air.
But it's funny. I felt like, for me, I think when you come from we talked about this too with Mark, like when you come from an unstable home, sometimes you start looking for stability in a relationship. That's what you think, okay, getting married and having this family, it'll be okay, and then you realize that's not the case at all.
Yeah. Well, I think I've said before about money, because I grew up without any money and I grew up with economic instability. And I was like, because I didn't have money came to symbolize everything I didn't have.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, I don't have money and I feel unsafe and I feel useless and valueless and frightened.
Yep.
And so if I have money, all those things will go away.
Yeah.
Like, what's interesting about that is that I grew up without money. Like, I didn't have resources, we had economic instability. And so for me, money came to symbolize all the things I didn't have. And I was absolutely certain, I feel unsafe, unstable, worthless. But if I have money, I'll feel safe, I'll feel secure, I'll feel stable. And then I got money and I was like, oh no, I have money, it's better than not having money, but I still feel unsafe. I still sometimes feel unworthy. I still it didn't do that. And I think the same thing like you're saying is that you don't have a home that feels calm and connected, and you're like, oh, if I have another person who loves me, who's present, who's all the things that my family might not have been, or I could build a home that has none of those, then I'll have all that because I'll have all of those things. And I see that with a lot of people who grew up with wealth. Mm-hmm. Okay, they had wealth, but they didn't have warmth and love and stability and consistency, predictability. And you're like, oh, if I have that, then I'll have everything I need.
My dad was giving me a hard time about not watching the news enough, so naturally I gave him a hard time right back. I told him most of what we're shown is designed to alarm us, not inform us. And that's why I asked Ground News to sponsor my channel. Ground News is an app and website that helps you form your own opinions by showing you every article published on any story worldwide. My favorite part is how it breaks down each news source's political bias, reliability, and even ownership, so you can actually see where your information is coming from. Let me show you how it works. Here's a story about the Palisades fires in Los Angeles. Ground News shows that 13 outlets covered it, most leaning slightly right. You can instantly see who owns these outlets, how reliable they are, and how differently they frame the same event. Some headlines focus on firefighter decisions, others on weather and risk. Same story told through two very different lenses. I also like their blind spot feed. It highlights stories that are covered heavily by one side but ignored by the other. It's a simple way to step outside your own echo chamber. So if you're tired of being told what to think, check them out at ground.news/SWU. You'll get 40% off their Vantage plan, and by subscribing or even gifting it to someone, you're supporting independent thinking and this channel directly. Again, that's ground.news/SWU. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, I think also like sometimes chemistry gets confused for recognition, for patterns of stuff that, you know, you felt in your life or earlier childhood stuff. Mark and I were talking about that. Like a lot of stuff happens from childhood that, you know, obviously, you know, shapes your life, you know, and how you act. And I think, yeah, that's the whole thing. Like I would confuse intensity for intimacy.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, you know, for me, like, it's so funny. I'm 53, you know, and like
How old are you, Ashley?
51.
51, 53.
53. And I've been in therapy. You're holding up good. You look good.
Okay.
I've been
Had a rough life.
listen, we both, I don't want to die without any scars.
Yeah.
You know, I really like, I've been in therapy for probably 20 years, you know? And like the first times I went to therapy is because like my fucking life was on fire. You know, like I think that's how a lot of people get in therapy. It's just like, oh fuck, my life's on fire. Like I'm getting divorced, or my mom died, or whatever. You know, so that was like what therapy was for me. And only like 5 or 6 years ago did I like get back into therapy, but like my life wasn't on fire. It was just like, all right, I just kind of want to like figure this fucking thing out, maybe be better at it.
Therapy's so helpful.
It's so helpful. It's even more helpful when you go into it and your shit's not on fire. And you're like, I just want to like figure some things out, like, and figure out trails. But what's funny is like the thing that you said that made me think like, yeah, is that like what I realize sometimes now is that like somebody who winds me up, or like someone who I find super attractive, or like how much of that is like 7-year-old Jim, like reacting
For sure.
to like what my mom didn't give me or my dad. And I actually said to my therapist the other day, I was like, I'm fucking 53. Like I'm still trying. My mom's been dead 10 years. Like I'm still trying to get my mom to love me by giving this woman everything. Like I'm still, really? Like I have come nowhere in this process. Like I'm still, but the truth is like, yeah, those are like formative fucking years. And you can spend a lot of time trying to rebuild that, but.
Yeah. I mean, it's a simple Freud 101, you know, that we chase these patterns in our life to try to fix them. You know, we go after women sometimes that, you know, remind us of maybe a family member, and we try to fix that and heal that relationship, but it doesn't work that way.
I've also found too, for me, I don't know about you, but like I always found in my life, I was attracted to women that were like my mother or her total opposite. There was nothing in between. And by the way, like too far south is north. So like my mom's like coldness and like absence and like making me feel ashamed for wanting or needing anything, and like lack of comfort, because my dad was a bad alcoholic, and you know, she was very like dealing with him, and it was kind of like, I do not have time for you right now, I'm dealing with this fucking child, you know? And so I found women that were like that, you know? And then I went the other way, which is like, I'm gonna find women that are like wildly overcorrectedly super invested in me to the point where they're just like, and then I'm gonna get annoyed by that because I don't even know how to react to that. I don't know how to handle that energy, even though it's like appealing to me.
And neither of these is the answer.
Neither of them, because the answer is like in the nuance of it.
And by the way, just for those people that are saying, oh, well, my mom was this way, my mom was, it's not always the mom. Because like with me, I've been attracted to women who are representative of my dad. They treat me the way my dad treated me, which was kind of...
It's either parent, it's either parent or they're opposite. Yeah. Like, so it really is. Like, I don't think that I think it really is. Because my point with it was how those early years are so important. And it's actually taught me why, like, someone hurting a child, someone abusing a child. Like, this is why this is such a reprehensible thing to do, because like you will spend the next 40-something years, 50-something years, like still dealing with the after effects of the way that these people engaged you, because they're so formative, they're so foundational.
Well, yeah, it changes your brain pathways at a young age when you have like trauma like that or PTSD for forever. And you know, I had stuff happen in my home too, you know, and I love my parents. They did the best they could do, but you know, that stuff sets you up. And I think a lot of me, because I grew up in a family that was, you know, a lot of people looked at them and, you know, you never knew what people wanted and you kind of just wanted your own identity. But then there was this part where you have this low self-esteem, you know, and you have this low self-esteem. And so you start picking women that like look good on the side of your arm so you feel better about yourself. You know what I mean? Like the guys say, oh, he's with her. And then it's really about just yourself trying to, that low self-esteem, you know?
And it's the sense of like, if she sees I'm valuable and people see that she sees I'm valuable, then they're going to think I'm valuable and then I'm going to feel valuable. Which, by the way, each of those steps along the way is like so fucked up because if she finds me valuable, well, she may find you valuable because she feels superior to you. You know, and if she finds me valuable, other people will see I'm valuable. No, they might just be like, oh no, like she's just fucking crazy that she likes that guy. And also then on top of it, then I'll feel valuable. That's the biggest delusion of all time. Like if anything, no, I'll just feel completely empty because I'm standing there. Like you want to feel, you know, like I live in Chelsea in the city. You ever want to feel like super like fat and out of shape? Hang out, live in a building with a lot of gay men. Like they look fucking photoshopped, these guys. So like, you know, put me in Disney World, I'm the hottest guy there. But like even being around here, LA, I don't know how you all survive. Like everybody's so fucking good looking, you know? And New York City, same thing. Like talk about the two cities where people are peak hot. Like, but the truth is, like, you want to look skinny, hang out with fat people.
You're like Pacoima 10, LA 1.
Right, you know? right. And I guess, you know, like, but what's so funny is that you actually thought, oh, I'm going to marry this incredibly popular, successful, gorgeous woman, and it's going to make me feel better. Like, no, actually, no. Like, it's for like a minute, you know? But, you know, falling feels like flying for a little while.
But that's the same. You know? That's the same repetition of that same thing of this. Okay, this time this is going to fix me, make me feel okay. It's the same as addiction, right? Almost. Okay, now if I take this, I'm going to feel okay. And my friend, I was saying to Mark earlier, Brad Renfro, he's an actor, and he died. And we were talking in the car one day, you know, about addiction. But then he said, "Man, the hardest shit to kick is two-legged dope." You know, because I'm like, well, yeah, for like, you know,
I have never heard it put that way, and that is so spot on.
Yeah,
it's so true.
And I'm like, for drugs, you can go into rehab and they give you some pills and detox you, but the two-legged dope, there ain't nothing.
Dude, not only is there nothing for it, like everyone's a pusher. Everyone's a pusher. Like if you were like, you know what I'm thinking about doing tonight? Some heroin. Like most people, except junkies, are going to be like, that's a bad idea. You know, but if you're like, I found the woman of my dreams, people are like, good for you. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to marry her without a prenup. They'd be like, what a leap of faith. That's fantastic. Like it's the only dope in the world that people are just going to be like, I'm so glad you're getting hooked on this. Like, and you know, if you were like, you know, maybe this is bad for me, people would be like, what are you, a quitter? Like, come on, man. You know, it's like, and by the way, there's absolutely no metric or statistic to suggest that this is good for you. And by the way, like, if you're going to make this metaphor, which that's amazing, that metaphor. I mean, honestly, like, talk about chasing the dragon. Like the first days of love, what is more intoxicating than that? It's the first shot of heroin. It's the first bump of excellent coke. Like it's the I didn't know I could feel like this.
And then it gets progressively worse.
Yeah, well, like you need more. You need more to get the same feeling. You have to start doing shit you didn't want to do in order to get it. Like, and it never quite ever matches that. But you're like, hey, if I don't keep doing it, I'm going to feel worse and worse and worse. So it's absolutely the two-legged dope, like chasing the dragon of that two-legged dope wow, we got to start
everybody,
setting up
that's-
rehab centers for
Yeah,
this.
I mean, they have SLA, sex and love addiction,
Yeah.
places and stuff. But I think we all have that. It's human nature. When I just went through cancer, I was in a 6-year relationship and was going through radiation, and we split up. Not that I'm a victim in the whole thing, but it was hard. It was the hardest thing. I mean, I'd rather kick dope any day of the week than kick the two-legged dope. It was tough, and then it brings in all the abandonment issues that bring in causes and condition and your core childhood. It's always comes back to that, and that's where you're saying therapy is the work that it takes time. It's not an overnight thing, and I think a lot of our brain pathways, the voices get less, but they never go away.
Yeah, and you know what I'll say as a divorce lawyer is that like I'm like the substance use counselor at the rehab center. You come in and you're like, all right, I've been rapidly detoxed off of this because I got thrown in prison. That's that she came home and said I'm in love with somebody else and I'm out. Or like you start to go, okay, my life has become unmanageable. Okay, well, that's what a lot of people come into my office. They're like, hey, my life's become unmanageable. So kicking the two-legged dope, my problem is as the person who facilitates the demise of the unhappy marriage. Like I'm not, just like dope, like drug dealers don't have to sell drugs. Like they don't have to go out and be like, hey, would you guys like to try this? Like drugs sell drugs. Like drugs sell drugs. Like there's never been someone sitting around going, what am I going to do with all this crack? Like drugs sell drugs. You don't have to make ads for it, So divorce, it's like the same thing. People are like, oh man, like how do you feel like society, like what you're doing in society? I'm like, guys, like I don't make it rain. Like I'm the umbrella. Like I'm not capitalizing on people divorcing any more than like a pediatric oncologist is like, oh man, I hope kids get cancer. Like I'm sure he'd be happy for kids to not get cancer and have to do something else. But the truth for me in doing what I do for a living is, people, when they get into my office, all of that abandonment stuff that they're feeling, all of that anger that is not just at this person they're divorcing, it's at their mom. It's at their dad. It's all because okay, we've all done some therapy here in this room, but a lot of people haven't, a lot of men haven't, a lot of women haven't, or they had therapy. Not all therapy is created equal. Yeah. There's a lot of people that just have an unconditional positive regard Rogerian therapist who's they go in and say, well, here's what I'm feeling. And they're like, it's good. It's good that you recognize
that. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, you get to be Woody Allen. You're in therapy 5 days a week for 40 years and you marry your daughter. That's not great therapy as far as I'm concerned. Good therapy should be about what is it you don't want to feel?
Yeah.
What is it you don't want to look at? Let's look at that. Because what is addiction but anything you do to get away from what you would have been feeling if you'd done nothing at all?
But I think you'd be a hard client because sometimes as a therapist, we can run around them, you know what I mean?
Totally.
And all of a sudden we're kind of lying to ourselves, but not really realizing that in the moment, It's
My therapist gets right out in front of me. It's great. Because she's like, you're intellectualizing this.
Yeah.
She's like, and when you do that, you're doing it because you don't want to look at it. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Wow.
I couldn't imagine where the hell I'd be today without therapies, without good therapists. I don't know, I've been deep into it before.
I've had so many therapists that cheated on them. Sometimes I wonder, in marriages, do people want a partner or a therapist they can sleep with?
Yeah. I made a conscious decision with the therapist. The therapist I saw for almost 20 years, basically retired, and I couldn't work with him anymore. And so I had to find somebody else. And that was the weirdest feeling in the world because I was like, okay, wait, no. This person knows all this background. They were there. They were there when I got divorced. They were there when my mom died. They know all this history. I got to start over? But the interesting thing about that is when I started over, what I found was when I was getting divorced, it was the only thing in the world that was going on. It felt so big to me, and I was so worried about my kids, and I was so worried about how that, 20 years later, describing that divorce, it's this much of my Wikipedia page of my life. I was yeah, I was married, and then we had 2 kids, and then we split up, and I'm like, oh shit, this thing that was the center of everything was just 4 sentences in the summary of my life now. And that's a really, like, it put a lot of things in perspective. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like I've found that the older I get, the more I see how things fit in the timeline. And I had all these things that I was like, there's no fucking way I'm surviving this. Like, there's no way I'm getting out of this with like my sanity intact, or there's no way I'm getting out of this without my heart being just irreparably broken. And now I look at it and I'm kind of like, oh, yeah, I've been through a lot of things. Like, I got through a lot of things.
Yeah, it's funny. I spoke to this professor at Harvard, and he was saying to me, because it was something similar like that, a relationship, and he said, you know, the good news is every crisis has a beginning, middle, and end. And when I heard that, I'm like, oh, you're in the middle stage. I just, you know, you don't think that. Like, you just think this is going to be forever. And I'm like, crisis, there's a beginning, middle, and an end. And I was like, it just hit me hard when I thought about that, because I knew at some point there would be relief from this. You know, like you said, if we look back, it's so, you know, it was nothing, it was trivial. But in the moment, it's like, you know.
You know, I think it was George Orwell or Orson Welles. No, maybe it was Orson Welles who said that whether a story is a comedy or a tragedy depends on when you end the story.
Yeah.
And like, I think when you're in it, like, there's just no end. Like, and then when you've gone through it and then you look back and the more distance you get from it, you just sort of go like, oh, okay. And I feel that way about love. Like, I feel that way about, like, I don't know how you feel about your ex-wives, but like, you know, at the time, and then when it's first acute and you're splitting up, and then like 5-6 years later, and then, but man, like, the further and further distance I get from it, the more that I'm kind of like, oh, like, there were some lovely things about this person, and like, I don't know, things just don't hurt the way they did. I don't feel angry the way I did. I also get far enough from that version of me that I don't identify with him so much anymore, and I kind of look at it and I go like, oh, I was so fucking, like, gosh, she deserves there should be champagne for the survivors, man, of that. Like, that fucking guy, like, we're married to him. Like, I don't feel like him anymore. That's me 30 years ago, you know?
Yeah. Well, what do you think, like, doing what you do obviously has changed your views on marriage or relationships or love?
I mean, those are three totally different things. Like,
Yeah.
I think on marriage, I'll go in reverse order on that question. It if anything, has very much deepened my faith in love and my belief in love and my belief in how important love is to all of us, what we're willing to trade for it, like how much it means to all of us. Like, people say to me sometimes, like, oh, you know, doing what you do you believe in love? And I'm like, that's like, do I believe in gravity? Gravity exists, I don't have to believe in it. Like, I'd say I don't believe in gravity, I'm not gonna fall up. Like, love is all around me, I feel it, it's in my heart, I see it all around me, it's the only thing that matters. Like, so love I completely believe in.
Yeah.
Do love and marriage correlate in any way? I don't believe so. Like, I don't think that the people I know that are like really deeply in love, if they didn't have this governmental agency built around it in the form of marriage, I think they'd still be madly in love. I don't think that maybe it bolstered some aspect of it, and I don't think it really did. Relationships, in my opinion, it's taught me that relationships can get very complicated very fucking fast. You sign on for something thinking that this is, like, you sign on for the simplicity of it.
Well, they also send their best representative in of themselves. You know what I mean?
Of course, they have Spanx on their personality, and so do we.
Yeah, of course.
You know, like, we go in and we're like, oh, I'm going to present my best possible self. And by the way, you are your best self at that moment.
Yeah.
Like, because when are you your best self? When you're like, because I don't think you fall in love with this person exclusively. I think equally, you fall in love with the person this person makes you feel like. Like, every time I've ever fallen in love, I love who I was in that moment. Like, I looked at myself in the mirror and felt the best I've ever felt. Because she thinks I'm so hot. She thinks I'm so smart. She's so enamored
Those
with me.
roofies really work.
They really work. But she's so, like, enamored with me that I feel like that. I feel like I'm that person.
Yeah.
And the truth is it's like, no, I'm just still me. But I projected all this stuff on her. She's projected all this stuff on me. And now I like who I am. And who am I getting mad? I'm getting mad because she's changing, because she took the Spanx off her personality. And I had to see her without the makeup. emotionally and physically. Because like, again, emotionally she took it off too. And also, I've stopped, like that two-legged dope, like it doesn't, you got to have more to feel, the same rush, and it'll never really be that rush. Like you're chasing that dragon, and the dragon that you're chasing is the dragon of like how I felt about myself, how this person made me feel. Yeah. And it's really easy to go, you're failing me, you don't make me feel the way you used to. But part of it is that, okay, I don't feel when I'm around you. I don't make me feel the way that I used to feel when I was around you. And I think that those are different things. But see, the problem is we don't have a world where we get to talk about this until it's too late. Like we don't, I don't think, I was saying to Mark the other day, like that, I don't know about you, but like people spent a long time in school teaching me how to divide fractions.
Yeah.
I've never fucking used that once in my life. But nobody ever said to me like, hey, when you fall in love, whatever world you live in, whatever culture you're in, whatever, when you fall in love, you're gonna be drunk as fuck. Like you're gonna not be seeing things clearly. Like, and when you're wearing rose-colored glasses, all the red flags look like flags. Like you're just gonna be like, whatever. And no one ever told me that. And like, you know what, that was way more important than how to divide fractions. It would have saved me a lot more money. I wouldn't have given away a house and a 401k. Like if someone had said to me early on, or maybe I would have still done it, because people tell people don't do drugs all the time and they do them anyway. But at least I would have gone, oh, that's what's going on here. I wouldn't have thought, oh, I failed, I suck, or oh, she sucks, or whatever it is. Like I would have understood, oh, this went the way that somebody said it was gonna go.
Why do you think, because I always wonder this, why do you think when we're in that place and we see those red flags that we continue to move, we delude ourselves in a certain way? You know what I mean? Like start making excuses.
I think we overestimate our capacity.
Yeah.
Like I think we just go like love will conquer all, or maybe this person will change and I'll change them with my love. Yeah. Like, oh, she's this way, but that's insecurity, and maybe if I love her enough, she won't have that insecurity anymore. I think some of that, or I think we overestimate what we're gonna be able to put up with. I also think too, like what we like about someone when we're dating them, what excites us about them, the type of relationship that a marriage is, like we're gonna live together and we're gonna build a home together. Like the things that make someone a good girlfriend or a good boyfriend are not necessarily the things that would make you a good husband or wife or roommate or co-parent or any of those other things. Like, oh, you can cook, like that means you can farm? No, like those are two fucking totally different things. They both have to do with food, but like they're totally different skill sets. So I think that's a piece that people, we look at this person and think, oh, well, we'll just get better and better at this with time. Like, cause most things, like if I practice at it, I get better at it. But I don't think relationships is necessarily like that. That like if you just hang in there, you'll figure it out.
You think it'd be helpful if they taught this stuff in high school?
The problem is like, how would we teach? I mean, first of all, I think there's a lot of adults that still haven't figured this shit out and wouldn't want to say out loud what you'd have to say out loud. Like we live in a culture currently where it is a controversial statement to say that biological sex exists. How do you propose we're gonna discuss, here's how you should be in a relationship with a man or a woman without everybody disagreeing on the core component? We can't agree on the definition of a man or the definition of a woman. We'd also turn into, well, isn't that a very heteronormative discussion, because you're talking predominantly about heterosexual couples because they outnumber same-sex couples, so we would be talking about the majority but excluding the minority, which would be heteronormative and homophobic. Like, it's so fraught of terrain.
I'm not homophobic.
Oh, good. If you play gay chicken with me, we'll snuggle right up, man. Listen, you know what? I have to tell you something. I never used to like broccoli. Now I love it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd do the second half gay. I don't know. I couldn't be any fucking worse at it. I'll say that. You know what I mean? Like, I've always said, actually, I would be awesome at being gay, except for the gay sex part. Like, I feel like hanging out with other men.
And you have to be in better shape.
Going to the gym. That's the problem. I can't have that. I can't. I like carbs too much to really do that. But yeah, I mean, there's so much of like bond. Like when men get together like this and have a conversation, an honest conversation. And well, by the way, like no matter what I represent like some Fortune 50 CEOs and some incredibly famous actors, musicians, athletes. And I used to represent like, mom and pop, like a cop or whatever. You're like, we all suck at this. Like, it's the greatest commonality ever. Like, you could be the world-class surgeon. You could be, and you suck at this. Like, you just suck at this. Like, because it's, everybody sucks at this.
You see it all, right?
We're equally like, well, I mean, I see a self-selecting group. I see people getting divorced, but 56% of marriages end in divorce. So that's how many catastrophically fail. So let's say there's another 10, 20% that stay together for the kids, but they're miserable, or stay together because they don't want to give away half their shit. All right, now we have something fails 76% of the time. Like, across all demographics of wealth, of everything. Yeah, it crosses all of those lines. People who are, I have clients who are like world-class financiers, surgeons, athletes, actors, quant people, PhDs in molecular biology, like brilliant by any metric, skilled at any metric, thinking long-term, disciplined by any metric. They're terrible at this. They're as terrible at it as the postman.
Well,
keeping love and finding love, keeping love, maintaining it, being happy in it.
I've seen some of the biggest businessmen in the world be destroyed by a woman, and they're such powerful businessmen in business, you know, like sharks. And then you see the two-legged dope or the woman come in, and it becomes a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
You know, and I always wonder what you think that would be about.
I think sometimes it's also that, like, you know, they don't want to acknowledge, like, the thing about the two-legged dope is that it you know, mental illness is the illness that tells you don't have an illness. You know, and I've had a lot of friends that have like serious substance use issues.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when they're in their addiction, you're like, dude, this is the fucking drugs. And they're like, no, it's not that. It's this and this and this and this I'm dealing with. And you're like, dude, it's not that. It's the drugs. Like, that's with this. Like, when you got a guy, listen, man, your life's fucked up because your relationship is fucking bad. No, it's not that. It's this has been going on at work, and also this, and the kids this. And you're like, dude, I'm telling you, you kick that dope, and you're gonna see like everything else is gonna get better in your life. Like, this is bad. And then they invariably do eventually get divorced. And then they go, oh my God, I didn't realize how much drag that was. Because a good relationship, and like the height of, you know, like when you're first chasing that dragon, like, or when you're in that, like, or if you have a really healthy relationship, it's a superpower. It's a superpower. Like, I've always said, marriage is like winning the lottery. You're probably not gonna win. You're probably not, but if you win, what you win is so fucking good, man. If you see somebody who's got a really fulfilling, healthy relationship, it's a superpower.
Yeah, I would say if you wanna find out what your character defects are, get into a relationship. You know, like,
it holds up a mirror.
It is. It's a huge learning block, you know, and it's not like in most things in life. You know, it's hard. Nothing comes good without hard work, you know. And I feel maybe there's a certain percentage of marriages that just go, you know, happy, but I think there's also a lot of, you know, a lot of stuff because people are bringing their family stuff to the table, and you're bringing your family core stuff to the table, and I think that stuff has to be worked through, you know. And then you hear, well, you just got to figure out the person that's worth doing that for, you know, doing it with, you know. So
what's interesting, like, I was talking to a buddy of mine, Max Lugover, a couple days ago, and he said something really interesting to me that I'd never heard before. And when he said it, I was like, oh, that seems so obvious. But like, I'd never thought of it before. Because you're like, you know, whoever discovered water, it wasn't a fish, you know? Like, and I would be interested to hear what you guys think of this. Because he said it, and I was like, oh shit, that's really interesting. He said that he thinks that your next relationship is usually a reaction to your last one. I don't know, if, like, that, when he said that, I mean, maybe it seems like self-explanatory. When he said it, I was like, oh shit, that's really interesting. That like the partner you choose for your next relationship is very often a reaction to the last one you had. So it's either like, oh, I liked this, so, but I got it wrong, so I'm gonna try again with the same one. You know, like I'm gonna get a same one, but this time I'll do it right. Like, this time I'll build it right, or this time I won't let these things go off track.
The definition of insanity, right?
Right, but this is, or you go, you know what, this one was so soft, I'm gonna take one that's really hard. Or this one was so demure, and I'm gonna take one who's a wild child now. Or this one was such a wild child, and now I'm gonna take one who's like super virginal. And so you're actually letting your choices be dictated as a reaction formation, essentially. I don't know. What do you think of that? I thought it was such a cool
it's
thing. He said it, and I was like,
great.
oh, I'm gonna have to like digest that.
Yeah,
for a while.
I've seen that in Friends. I've seen it happen over and over again.
I think I've
done it.
I think I've done it. Yeah, I think I've done. When he said it, I was like, I think I've done that. Because sometimes you go like, what? Why did I choose this person in that moment? Because I think sometimes we just think like, oh, this person just wandered into my life, and then that was it. It's like, right, but no, you made choices, and why did this choice appeal to you? It's really interesting to think if it was like partly a reaction to the prior one.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is, and you know, at a certain point, if the same things keep happening in relationships, you got to look at yourself and try to recognize why is this pattern keep happening.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's the thing about like romantic movies. They're an hour and a half, right? If women seem to love them, I go, if they were 10 hours, you'd see the whole story. You know what I mean? It's like,
and by the way, like rom-coms are porn. They're porn. That's all they are is porn. Like, what's porn? Porn is idealized, stylized, like what you want to see, the best parts, right? But it's idealized, it's stylized. It's not actually what real sex looks like unless you're imitating porn in your sex life, which I think a lot of people are. Like a lot of people's sex education is porn, and then they go, oh, that's what fucking supposed to look like. So then they try to recreate porn. But the reality is like, I don't know that that's actually, it's a idealized, stylized. Like I was talking to a dude who shoots porn, he's a porn director, and he was like, oh, like no one really enjoys reverse cowgirl, but it looks great on camera. Like it looks great on camera. Like fucking in the shower, washing off every natural lubricant that you have and standing in a slippery surface, it's not, but it looks great. So in film, everybody's fucking in the shower. So like it's what looks good. Well, rom-com, same thing. Like here's an idealized, stylized, perfect version of what a great relationship looks like, and then it ends usually at like a moment of ta-da, and it's perfect, and then they kiss, and now we end it. Yeah. And it's like, we ended the story there. You think that in the movie Titanic, that if Leonardo DiCaprio didn't die, that like a year later, she would have been like, a year later, she'd have been like, dude, enough with painting the fucking French girls. You got to get a job, man. Like, what are you doing? Somebody's got to pay the rent around here. I broke up with that rich fiance because of you, the Billy Zane guy. Yeah. Like, we got to figure this out. Like, but you end the story with him dying, and he's got a halo, and it's a love that lasts forever.
Yeah. That, now I'm going through the same thing too. So it's.
What kind of cancer are you dealing with?
I have mucosal carcinoma, which is a very rare cancer. There's not a lot of clinical trials on it. It's like a 1% thing. Wow. So the last 2 years, my life turned completely upside down. And
I've had some family experience with my mom had leiomyosarcoma and dealt with it for many years. And she had an excellent outcome. She had a lot of surgeries and things like that. But she lived into her late 70s, and when she didn't pass from that, thank God. But it was touch and go. There were bad prognosis from here and there.
On you,
Dude, it's hard to keep your sense of humor. It's hard to keep your like. I know when I'm sick or in pain or nauseous or whatever, like it's hard to fucking find the joy in life,
Yeah, absolutely. And when you don't feel good physically, it's very hard to feel good emotionally.
Period. Yeah, man.
And all the stuff about cancer that's so weird is that like everything they try to do to each treatment to save you, it kills a piece of you. After radiation, I wasn't I wasn't the same. Or after the third surgery, now it's checkpoint inhibitors, IVIG.
They're taking pieces of you.
Yeah, and it's funny because I just was dating somebody, but I said, listen, you don't know my world, and I don't think it's fair for you
to come in this.
Yes, because you only seen the outside of it, but to bring a girl, into all this stuff, it's very almost. I feel selfish in a way,
Do you think that's true? I don't know, man. Honestly, one of the things that's best I think about women is like. I think a man would feel that way a lot. I'm generalizing, but like I think a lot of men would feel that way. Like it's like if a woman was like had cancer and going through chemo, and you're like, we're going to start a relationship. I think a lot of men would be like, ooh, that sounds like I'm a lot to sign up for. But like, I know a lot of women that would be like really into like being a supportive person for someone who's going through a struggle. Like, you're right. I really do. Like I have to tell you, like it's what I've seen in like when people divorce with children. Men fare better because like a man sees a woman with a couple of kids and goes like, oof, like baggage, I mean, again, not every single man, but I think a lot of men go, ooh, baggage. A lot of women see a guy with kids who's divorced and is like, oh, cool, instant family, just add me. Like, that's great. Like, I'll be a cool stepmom, you know? I'll be like a supportive partner. I'll get along with his ex. Like, we'll figure it out, you know? And I feel like when you see someone who's going through something as intense as what you're going through, like, and dealing with like such a serious health thing and all the shit that comes with it, like, I think it brings out something in all of us that's a little like, oh man, like I want to like bolster you, I want to support you, I want to like give you some moments of peace if I can, make you laugh, like, you know.
Well, there's a caveat to that too. When you know, a woman you're dating is like, I want to have kids and have marriage in the future, and you don't know if you're gonna live or die. You know.
Well, we're all gonna die.
Well, yeah, but
you're thinking when?
You know, on a fast track, you know, they had said to me, okay, you have 30 to 50% to make it 5 years. You know, so like, but who knows, stats or whatever, different things can happen. But when all that stuff's going through your mind, you know, it's hard to be there for somebody else in a relationship. And I was saying to this girl that I you know, just very nicely split up with, I go, all your demands and everything are all reasonable. You know, I can't, you know, I can't do it, you know, because of you get sick and the treatments and all that stuff, you know. So
would like 20-something-year-old you have had that approach to it?
Probably not.
Yeah.
No.
Like, I think that's a function of it. Like, it sounds like, because that's a lot of like empathy.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of like putting yourself in the head
Yeah.
of this other person and being like, hey, like, I've got to rock and roll through this, and like, you don't have to, and like, you deserve to fun. But I just don't think that's a young man's game. Like, I don't, like, I don't.
For sure.
Yeah. Like, I know I've gotten better at it. Like, I don't know that I've perfected it at all, but I've like definitely gotten better at it, because I think I'm much more patient than I used to be, and I see the long view in a way that I didn't used to see the long view, and I don't know, that just feels to me like such a testament to like your growth as a person, that you would say like, hey, you know, this is great and you're awesome, but like, I'm wrestling with this thing, and you don't know, you don't have to wrestle with it, and also like the things you want, like I want you to have those things.
Correct.
You know, and if I'm not going to be able to be the one to give them to you, I would like you to have them anyway, even without me. Like,
correct.
That's, I don't know, that's a very grown-up way to handle it.
Because thank you. Because also, like, you know, like I said to you earlier, your outside world's being crumbled too, financially, how you're getting hit on everything, and you know, if someone tells you that's what they want, you know, like, you know, in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, it says, you know, selfish, self-seeking, that we think is the root of our problems. We must get rid of the selfishness. We must, or it kills us. You know, and so I think that's a lot of what, you know, addiction and stuff is trying to move from selfishness to selflessness, you know. And
well, and isn't that at the root of like why my profession is thriving, is that I don't know that, to go back to your question from before, like, see, I think marriage is an institution that we created to bolster something, but I think in fact what it does is it's become something where we're very selfish, because we're like, how is this person failing to meet my needs? And how is this person like failing to make me feel the way I want to feel? Like, we're approaching it from a place of selfishness. And in fact, at its best, what a marriage would be, what a relationship would be, is like, how can I be of service to you?
Correct.
And you would equally be, how can I be of service to you? And therefore, we're both getting our needs met, but we're not being selfish in that process. And like, that selfishness is like, because I think that selfishness is the most metastatic thing there is.
Yeah.
Because it spreads into all the aspects of our connection and starts eating away at all of them.
Yeah, because everybody wants to be served. Nobody wants to serve. You know what I mean? And I think that's one of the biggest things. Like in relationships, it's what you can bring to the table. You know, it's not just being a taker, and you know, it's work and stuff. And so, like, that's why I'm saying, going through the stuff I have enough awareness at this point to, you know, not affect another person that could change their life and hurt them with something they want and told me up front. Like you said, when I was 20, I'd be like, whatever. But you know, when you look into, you know, I'm speaking to UCLA right now, the therapist there, about assisted suicide, in case, you know, the next surgery or, you know, treatment goes upside down, you know, and they have to do it when you're, I'm sure you know, like in a sound state of mind. California gives you 6 months.
Yeah,
and
Netherlands, same thing.
Yeah, it's a very weird place and mindset to be, you know, and
it must call into like You know, that's the thing about any kind of like serious illness, life-threatening illness. Like it reshapes your focus really fast. Like it changes everything in terms of what was your levels of importance and scale of importance. Like it just drives home and sharpens and focuses right away, like all of those things. Because, you know, there's a finite number of times you're going to see the sunset. It's true for all of us. But when you start to feel like, oh, that might be a number that I could count on my hands and toes, like then you start taking that shit seriously. But the truth is, it could be true for any one of us. Like, like Mark and I could both go way before you, just because we get, you know, hit by a bus. Like, there's so many things that you could, you know.
Yeah, which is interesting because I hear people say that. You know, we're all going to die, and I used to say that. You know, but then when death shows up on your door and you have no control over it, you know, it becomes another monster. You know, and that's the thing that you try to wrestle with. And yes, we are all going to die, but like my prayers in the morning aren't like, okay, God, you know, take this away, because that may not be the case. Mine is, you know, please help me get through this with grace and dignity, you know, and also like, you know, that's the thing about AA is like, you know, I'll call my sponsor sometimes and he goes, who have you helped today? I'm like, what? You know, like it's about service and helping others too, you know, and it's, you know, especially like facing something like this, it just changes your whole view on relationships and how important they become to you, you know?
You know, it's interesting because if you don't mind me asking, like how long have you been in recovery for?
On and off for 18 years. Okay. I had 7 years up until I got cancer a year and a half ago. Right. You know, my drugs of choice were heroin, but opioids, you know, and so it was surgery after surgery, radiation. My partner left, and I was stuck here not knowing if I was going to live or die, and had all this pain. It was so dark at that moment, you know, I was just like, fuck it, you know what I mean? Like, you know, so it was, you know, retrospect, I wish I didn't do that, but I felt so alone when she had left and so scared.
Yeah, and you know, relapse is part of recovery, you know that. But
of course.
The reason why I was asking it is because you're talking about, you know, mortality and learning to sort of navigate serious illness and mortality. And you're using a lot of the things you have learned in recovery. And I guess what I was thinking is it's two separate questions that merits two separate answers. But the first one is, what has being in recovery and the tools and ways of looking at things that you got from being in recovery and being and working a program done to change the way you approach your romantic relationships? That's question one. And then second huge question two is, how has that informed the manner in which you're approaching serious illness and the prospect of mortality?
And Jim, you worked in recovery before working as a lawyer, right?
Yeah, well, I in addition to being a lawyer, I have my CASAC certification, which is Certified Substance Abuse Counselor.
Yeah, me too.
And so but that was because I grew up in a serious alcoholic household. Yeah, I've never had substance use issues personally, but I am like, when I was like, I moved out when I was 17 because my dad was, you know, like a Cutty Sark in his coffee mug kind of an alcoholic, and there was just so much chaos that came from that. And I remember I was like probably my sophomore year of college, I was in a bookstore and I saw the Recovery, the Adult Children of Alcoholics book.
ACOA.
Yeah, and I remember reading it. And I actually like felt like a chill down my spine, and I was like, are they reading my fucking diary? Like, this is, because the description of like all your fears and control and your necessity of control and like always feeling unsafe and feeling like love is only something you get if you earn it and all of it. I was like, oh my God, this is like me. Like, this feels like, holy shit, I didn't know that this was a thing. And of course, as life has moved on, I've learned like how much of my personality came from my father's alcoholism and growing up in an alcoholic household and the ecosystem that is an alcoholic household. But although I know a lot about the recovery community and I've been to lots of meetings because that's part of that process, like I have never had substance use issues that I needed me to work a program and be in recovery. So I know, as someone who had you got married at such a young age, and like you had like these marriages that, you know, failed somewhat quickly, which is good, you know, because you didn't have like, let's have a bunch of kids in 20 years and then like divorce. But I guess my question is like, how has being in recovery, when you first started working a program, has it changed or shaped the way that you look at love and how you should approach love, or how you date a woman, or how you lock in?
My uncle, when he was on his deathbed, he was dying, and the last thing I asked him before he passed away, he had cirrhosis of the liver, drank himself to death. So I grew up in an alcoholic family. It's funny we sit down and have so much in common. Yeah. But the last thing he said, I just said, what do you wish you would have done different? And he stopped and looked at me and said, I wish I would have loved more. It was fucking heavy.
Wow. Yeah, that's heavy.
And it's like, love is not just a sentence, as we know, it's an action.
It's a verb.
Yeah, a verb.
It's a feeling and it's a verb.
Yeah, and that was heavy, and so that doesn't necessarily mean with opposite sex. It means with people around you. And I think I took a lot of relationships for granted, but when this stuff changed me, and I'll go to your question now, but AA has been a phenomenal thing for me to deal with cancer, because you hear things like a day at a time. And when you really put that into practice, if you were just to meditate on that and get that perfect, your life would be radically different. And
I think in relationship too.
Yeah.
If you looked at your marriage, you looked at your connection with this partner as, okay, all right, I don't have to think about what she's doing right now. Well, in 5 years from now, am I going to be one day at a time? 1 hour at a time, keep it simple. I could see a lot of those things extrapolating into how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yep.
And I just feel like, I don't know, it's interesting to me to think that you had a lot of very public flameouts in relationship, and then have had, all of these tools that a person who's working a program starts to get handed, and you're quoting the big book and things like that. I'm willing to bet there's a bunch of stuff in the big book that would be really useful in sustaining a relationship.
Yeah, for anybody. No, it's fascinating. There's actually a chapter called Two Wives, but I mean, it's a difficult thing, when so I always think about too, because I have beautiful people around me, friends. My family's in Florida, so I had long-term friends in AA who show up. That's what we're taught to do.
Community.
Community show up, and that service thing. You interviewed my friend Justin the other day. There's people you can count on. And who aren't full of shit, and that's rare.
And don't have an agenda.
That's
the biggest thing. I think that when you come from celebrity, or you are in the orbit of it, or you're wealthy, or you have fame, it's very hard to why is this person really here? Why is this person in my orbit? Is it something that they need from me and want from me, or is it genuinely me? Because I don't want to eat with people who wouldn't starve with me. I want people that are there, that it's not what I can do for them. By the way, because I would do anything for the people in my life. If you love me and I love you, I'll do anything for you. I'll give you a shirt off my back, but I don't want you to sign on for loving me for that reason. I want you to sign on for loving me because you love me with no agenda, because it's, for me, the reason I love someone is because I love them with no agenda,
Yeah, and it's so true that you bring that up. It's hard to know what people want. Growing up in the family I did, like I said, I didn't know, what people wanted, or, because celebrity changes. Yeah. I mean, you've dealt with it, you've seen it, all the time. And a family like that, it changes, and then you like you said, you don't know if people's relationships with you are genuine, or they want something, And then the other thing to that, as well, is that I was very good at putting up smoke and mirrors, because that's Hollywood and a family. Yeah. So I could be with a woman long enough, but I couldn't let her get close enough because I was too afraid for her to see past all the smoke and mirrors. Oof. And that's been
well, and what that is too, and it is you just made a recipe that you'll never feel anyone's love, because if you do that, right, which we all do, But certainly in the ecosystem you were in, which is where you're with a family that's got fame and all these things, and you're okay, I'm going to put up all this smoke and mirrors, then even if she loves you, and she loves you for real, she really loves you, it's not you. It's this character you're playing. You don't love me. I'll never feel your love. You love the version of me I sold you on.
Correct.
If you know, because like I would say, I'm not religious, like, and I'm not, you know, I believe in God, but like I don't know that I can define him. And I don't believe in the devil. But if there was a devil, I'm certain that the devil's principal function would be to convince us that we're so awful and bestial that God couldn't possibly love us.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I know in my life, like all the worst things I've ever done to hurt myself and other people, it was when I went, well, fuck it, I'm a piece of shit anyway. Like I picked up anyway, fuck it. Like I picked up anyway, I might as well keep going. Like, because I'm a piece of shit. And I think what we're most afraid of, like most terrified of, is that we're not worthy of love. Yeah. Like we're not worthy. If you knew me, if you knew all the horrible shit in my head, if you knew all the things I've done, if you know how selfish I am sometimes, if you know how broken I am, you wouldn't love me. You love me because I'm a really eloquent speaker and I'm dressed up kind of nice right now. But like if you knew me, and what's funny about that is like you're laughing, but the truth is,
No, I relate.
the truth is, right, but like, you know what, man? It's funny because it's not true.
Yeah.
Like, it's not true. If anything, the more you show me of how fucking messy you are, the more I like you. The more that I actually am like, dude, that's just, you're human. You're not evil, you're human. Like, it's totally, like, you're not, like, if there was a person in my life who talked to me the way I talk to myself,
yeah, kill him.
I had to beat the fucking shit out of him years ago.
Yeah.
Take it a step further.
Yeah.
If I had someone in my life who talked to my kid the way I talk to myself, I'd murder them. Because again, like, we hardly know each other. But I'll tell you right now, like, if somebody talked to you, if I saw you over there and you were talking, someone was talking to you the way I talk to myself.
Yeah, of course.
I would interrupt.
Yeah.
Like I was breaking up a fight. And I would be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Who the fuck are you to judge this guy? You don't know him.
Yeah.
You don't know what he's been through. Give him some grace or you're
That's a big
perfect.
one.
You know? So the truth is, like,
Yeah.
I really feel like that dialogue you just described, like that reality you just described of those early relationships where you're like, oh, I'm gonna throw up as much smoke and mirrors as I can so that this person loves me. It's like, well, that's a recipe for this person maybe loving you, but like you never letting that love in.
Yeah, of course.
Like I found
Or it's
letting
like,
it in is the hardest.
I'm the biggest piece of shit the world revolves around. You know, like, you know, it's that double, fucking, you know, low self-esteem and huge ego.
The biggest piece
they
of
don't
shit
match
the world
up.
revolves around.
You know?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that's really good.
yeah.
Jesus, you got a million of them. That's really good. That, the two-legged dope. That's about. I gotta write these down. I gotta
Yeah,
steal
take them. Have them.
Yeah.
I don't know how long I'm gonna be around anyway.
All right, cool. Well, listen. Until then, I'll send you a residual. That's really fine. You know.
You copyright it quick.
Jesus,
will
be
you?
around, man. Be around.
Yeah. No, it's just such an interesting thing. You know, it's funny because we didn't know each other when we sat down, and I started watching your stuff and everything.
Well, then you knew me.
Yeah, but
'Cause that's me.
But we didn't get to connect like we are now.
Yeah,
you know, now
yeah.
we're having a connection. You know, the human condition. You know, and that's what becomes above all that stuff. You know, which I always love because we're talking to two different types of growing up, all different places, but yet we still feel a lot of the same
because we're
things,
both
you know?
human. You know, one of the things I always liked about the channel, because I was a fan of the channel before. I even
too.
put my monthly money down, and I still do. And I did it because what I liked about it is, it just felt real and honest. And in this increasingly performative society where everyone's just like showing this character, like putting up that smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
And so like when I saw your interview, I was like, you know, I know you a little bit now. Like, and you've seen mine and you know me a little. So this is the first time we're sitting down.
Yeah.
But you know a bit of me, I know a bit of you. And sometimes when I watch interviews, like when I watched his, I'm like, oh, I want to like talk to that guy. Like I want to just say to him like, no, man, don't like, you know, or like, oh dude, you're a good dude. Like don't, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's something really, that's the thing I like about the channel is I've always said that there's like, it's sort of, it's forcing a radical kind of empathy on people. Because I feel like if you just like sat down and listened to people for a little while, like share their pain and the shit that informed all the terrible decisions they made. And like, because I would tell you, man, like you judge, if you look at, like use my parenting as an example. If you no, here's what, because we both failed at marriage. at some point, if you want to look at it that way. Right? I don't look at it as a failure. I look at marriages as like relationships are chapters in a long book.
The other thing too, I think about marriages, I just want to ask you really quick, is that sometimes when that thing gets signed, I sometimes feel like now they've got you locked in, and then all the shit comes out. And they push the
ring comes on, the mask comes off.
Yes.
Like it's sort of like, oh, cool, I can take the Spanx off my personality now. Like I can just let this shit go because you're here.
Yeah.
You're locked in now. Yeah, I get that. I mean, look, I think it's totally real. It's totally fair. Like I think that people do that because anytime we feel like, okay, I've got that taken care of. Like, because we're saying it like it's a nefarious thing, like it was a plan. But I don't think it's that. I think what it is there's just so much shit to deal with.
Yeah.
That you go, oh, good, I got that now. Like, I got that covered. I don't have to worry about that anymore. I can start worrying about this other 1,000 natural shocks the flesh is heir to. Like, I can start dealing with all the other bombs falling out of the fucking sky. But the truth is, like, that's a big thing. And you also have to water the plant or it's going to die, So I feel like you of course, like thinking that this thing's locked in now probably makes you just forget about it and not honor it and not think it's important, put it in a list of priorities, build some habits. Like, you take your recovery seriously, so you build your schedule around it. Okay, I'm going to go to meetings. Okay, I'm going to call my sponsor. Okay, you get married and it's not like you're like,
some of them don't like that.
No, I mean, I get it. But like, I think that's, if it's going to work, the way a relationship has to work is you've got to do preventative maintenance on it. You've got to make a point. It's got to be a feature that like, hey, let's keep checking in on this thing and let's get it right.
What do you think the biggest thing, being in the profession you've been in and dealing with all the marriage stuff, has changed your thoughts or views on things? From compared to when you first started?
I think I've become actually way more compassionate.
Wow.
Because I feel like, man, you spend enough time, like, because I represent victims of domestic violence, and I represent perpetrators of domestic violence. Like, I don't wear the white hat.
Yeah.
Like, I represent my client. Like, I represent the client and I represent the system. I may not always believe in or like the client, but I believe in the system and I like the system. Like, I like living in this country. Like, I think our legal system is the worst, except for all the other ones. Like, I think it's we get a lot right. Like, the truth has a way of coming out despite my best efforts sometimes. So what it's taught me is it's taught me a very similar thing to this channel. Maybe that's why I was drawn to it. It's like, if you spend enough time talking to someone, you just see that, like, it's not evil. People mistake it for happiness, and they're chasing the wrong things. God makes you take the stairs. The devil sends a limo. Like, these are just people. They're hurt people hurting people.
Yeah.
Like, and so when you spend enough time, like, I represent the cheater and the cheated on. I represent the person who wants alimony and the person who does not want to pay alimony. I represent the person who's a really amazing parent by any objective metric. And I represent the person who's an absolutely atrocious parent who just wants to weaponize the kids and put them in the middle and could care less. And by the way, has tactical advantage because of it.
Yeah.
Because the person who doesn't give a shit about the kids has tactical advantage. Just like the bank robber has tactical advantage over the cops because he doesn't care if he shoots innocent bystanders.
I've seen it make friends of mine go, just break. My one friend, big musician, I'm not going to say his name, whatever, but it was kind of out in the papers, and she smeared him, had the kids, and said he was a molester and all this shit. And this dude, I know that this dude well. He's a much better father than I, I look up to him, and she was slandering him so hard that he was on the verge of killing himself over it,
Oh yeah, I've seen good people at their worst, man.
Yeah, and just taking the kids as hostage, and that's all he cared about,
Yeah, and so that's the effect it's had on me but again, it hasn't made me jaded.
Yeah.
It's just made me realize, how, I see good people at their worst. But to know a thing, push it to its limits. Like, when you push something to its limits, its real nature emerges. Like, its real constitution comes out when it's put under stress. And so I think that I see good people at their absolute, one of their hardest moments of their life.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, like, it's taught me a lot about what we're capable of. Like, I've seen people, like, we're capable of atrocity, and we're capable of beauty. We're capable of redemption. Like, it's just taught me, like, human emotional complexity. And it hasn't made me hate people. It hasn't made me, like, not believe in love. It's made me very skeptical of the value of marriage, you know, personally.
Yeah,
Like,
me too.
but not the value of, like, long-term
Relationship.
connection and love and having, like, a partner who is like, man, like, you're my favorite person and I'm your favorite person and we're going to see each other's blind spots. And, like, I hadn't got rid of that at all for me. I think that's still the coolest and best thing in the world. But yeah, I mean, it's made me, you know, there's a poem by Joseph Brodsky where there's a line in it that he says, I wish I knew no astronomy when the stars appear. Because when you know astronomy, like, they're not just beautiful lights in the sky anymore. You understand that this is like a ball of gas that is light is projected. But, like, I don't know, it doesn't, to me, like, it doesn't, seeing how love ends and seeing how bad we are at it, like, it hasn't made me believe in it less or crave it less or see how beautiful it is less. I think that we all want it more than anything in the world.
I think there's that Orson Welles quote, too, that said, everything that's happened bad to me in my life is either because of an agent or a lawyer.
Hey, listen, people hate divorce lawyers until you're going through it. And then they're fucking calling daddy. They're like, Dad, I need to, you got it. But, like, I am, there are people who, like, move the world and shape the world, and I'm daddy to them. Because they're like, I need Sexton, like, I need to talk to him because they're going through it. Like, they're in it, you know, and they're terrified. Like, you don't. And you know what? Like, it's, you know, it's better to have a gun and not need it than to need a gun and not have it.
Yeah.
Like, it's better to have a good divorce lawyer in your contacts than to not.
Now I got
Because if
one.
you need me, now you got
Lucky
one.
number 3.
You got one.
Three times the charm.
Third time might be a charm. I'm not good at anything first time I do it.
I know.
Everything takes practice.
Well, that's the other thing, too, is I think guys get really scared of prenups, you know, because of the love the woman has and they take it the wrong way or something. Or you're already saying it's a failure.
Yeah, but
you know?
I see. I have a hack for that.
Yeah, which is
I have
great.
a hack for that. I'm
Let me
trying.
write it
I'm
down.
trying to. Right, no, write it down.
I
I'm
will.
trying to sell this to the world. If this is my legacy, if they write something on my tombstone that changes the world, I hope this is it. Every marriage has a prenup.
Yeah.
Every marriage has a prenup. It's either one that was written by the state and can be changed by the legislature without your knowledge or consent. Or it's one that the two people that like each other more than the other 8 billion options have written. Who do you think is more qualified to write it? Like, you have a prenup. You're married, you have a prenup. It was written by the state, okay? And if it was written by the state, you're actually saying, like, you've been to the DMV. You walk in there and go, these fucking people should be in charge of everything. This is great. Like, they should definitely make the rules for my marriage. This is highly qualified. These are the best and brightest people in the world. Like, you can be left or right or like the angry moderate. We all agree that politicians get it wrong a lot of the time. We can all agree that, like, you know, 8 years ago, I knew a lot of people thought the president sucks. 4 years ago, people thought president sucks. Presently, a lot of people think the president sucks. So why would you say, you know who I'm going to let write my prenup? Politicians. So you have a prenup. So that's an easy conversation. It's our conversation if you go like, well, we'll either not have a prenup or we should have a prenup. No, we have a prenup. The government wrote it. Your relationship, your rules. Like, we should make our rules. What is it you need from me? What are you afraid of? Like, if I love you, I want you to feel safe. So if I want you to feel safe, what do you need to feel safe? Like you've been married a few times, you're in relationships. Do you want the woman in your life to feel safe? I do.
Of course, and that's what a woman wants. They want to feel
right,
safe.
but we're men. Have any of you in any romantic relationship you've been in not care if that woman feels safe? Strangers, women. When I see a woman in distress who I don't even know, something in me wants to help.
Yeah.
If you saw a woman standing next to her car when we walk out of here and she was like this, like looking like she was going to cry, which you're telling me all 3 of us would have gone up to that person. Are you okay, ma'am? Is everything all right? Can I help you with something?
Or if I see someone put hands on a woman too. You
know?
Even though you represent them.
100%. But listen, but again, do it by their worst moment, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the other thing. Like, look, we're 3 men that at some point in our lives have done some fucked up shit.
Correct.
Okay? So do I look at your worst moment, my worst moment, and go, that's the totality of who you are. That's definitional of who you are. If I do,
sure.
I'm giving you way too little credit. Now, we're three men that at some point have shown up for someone so amazingly. Like, we just fucking crushed it, man. Like, we did it. We stopped and went, dude, I did a really good job there. Like, I should be proud of that, okay? I'm sure you have a moment like that. We all have a moment like that. Is that, if you use that moment as who I am, you're giving me way too much credit. You're giving me way too much credit. That was just my best moment. That's my greatest hit, you know?
Yeah.
So the truth is, what we really are is like all of that in the aggregate.
Yeah.
And so ideally, when we die, like the average is you go, you know, he was more better than worse. He got it right more of the time than less. He helped people more than he hurt them. Like, that's my goal, that's my hope. You know, because I've already fucked it up about being perfect. I'm definitely not gonna die perfect. So if that's the truth of it, like, why wouldn't we in relationship, why wouldn't we in a prenup be able to have the conversation of like, hey babe, you know what, like if this thing ends, what would you need to feel safe? What was it you want from me? Because the truth is, I want you to feel safe in this relationship. I want you to feel safe if this relationship ends. I want to be here for you if somebody hurts you, even if that somebody's me.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I feel like, you know, sometimes the mistakes you make when you're in the public eye add more shame to you, you know, because it's not, we all make mistakes. And I mean, if we all judged each other for what we've done, none of us would talk to each other.
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
we'd all be terrified of each other.
Well, we certainly wouldn't do it out in public. Because we'd be like, oh shit, people saw me talking to
I
them.
know.
You know, but that's the other thing though, but see now, here's what's funny. So you were in the world of celebrity and growing up in the world of celebrity. When the world of celebrity, there were fewer portals, there were fewer cameras pointed, right? Or fewer places for the world to see that. Now everyone's a celebrity.
Yeah, it's completely.
Like now everyone, like any person now, there are cameras everywhere, and if you fuck up, it is gonna get published everywhere, potentially.
Yeah.
So like it used to be, oh, if you're in the Beatles, you know, or if you're in the Who, you know, like, okay, people are following you around, watching what you do, and if you fuck up, it's gonna make the news. Well, the news is now the internet and social media. So how many people, like all of us now, there's cameras on us all the time, and if we fuck up, we become celebrities by the fuck up, you know?
Yeah.
And that I think makes the stakes even higher and makes it even scarier, you know, because especially like to be in a good relationship, you have to like show the person your soft white underbelly.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
No, and that's the thing, Mark, too. Like, for me, I grew up in that world, and I always felt very uncomfortable. I don't, you know, like from the get, I just felt uncomfortable. I felt that there wasn't a realness to it, and it was all judgment. And I felt like, you know, that's kind of why drugs helped me feel okay. But I ran to the other side, to the soft white underbelly. You know what I mean? Like that side of the street, because I felt better there. I felt normal. I felt like these people were like me, and especially sober addicts. You know, we have so much in common, but I felt that world was more real than this world where I felt so uncomfortable in, you know?
I think that's the big thing that people are struggling with in the moment, and I think it's affecting relationships too. It's just the feeling that like everything's a performance now, and nothing's real anymore. Like when you say like growing up in that world, like you really struggled with growing up in that world, like what is it about that world specifically that's hard to grow up in?
Well, people are dying to get into it, right? So, you know, and I was dying to get out. But what's difficult about it is, you know, everything you do is judged. You know, your family, any mistakes you make. Like I said, you don't know, you know, what's who, if they like you for what, or all this stuff, and you know, and then. You know, listen, I have had a great life. I'm not complaining. But when you know, your parents and your stepfather and your father have had success at this level, and then you see your mom loving people with this type of success, somewhere at a young age, you start thinking, I have to have this type of success to be loved. And it's fucking impossible. You know, that's 5%, you know?
That's in this culture too, like, we really have turned, because like even without the celebrity thing, like we really turned love into something you have to earn. You know, like, oh, you got to be a really good singer, or you got to be a really good whatever. Like love is, and not that like love is your birthright.
Yeah.
Like that, because I tell you, like I have 2 sons and they're adults now. I never loved them because of the shit they were able to do. Like one's a really good guitar player. I was never like, man, I love him because he plays guitar. Like I don't fucking care what he, like I just love him. Like he was born, he didn't do anything. He was useless when you're a baby. Like they're just like a pet that doesn't even do anything. They just like shit and cry and keep you up at night. And man,
It's
I
like me when
loved
I'm
him.
drinking.
Like yeah, I loved him. Like the minute
Yeah.
I held him,
Yeah.
I loved him, and he didn't have to do anything. You know, if anything, all he was doing was disrupting my life, and I loved him more than I'd ever loved anything. But somewhere it starts to turn into, oh, you're a good boy. You're a good boy because you did that right. You're a good boy. Like, you're good at baseball. You're a good boy because you're good at baseball. And all of a sudden that you're a good boy turns into, I love you because you're good at baseball.
Yeah.
And by the way, other people definitely love you when you're good at baseball. You scored the winning run, I love you. You sold 1 million records, I love you. But the truth is, like,
It's
no,
the
like-
validation. You know,
right, it's validation,
that's
but
to be loved. You know,
but validation and love, like it's like,
two
dude, I
separate
could
things.
just love you because I
Yeah.
love you. I could just love you because you're human. You're worthy of love. You have beauty in you. You have God in you. Like you deserve love. Like somebody comes in to the rooms with you and they're struggling. You give them your love.
yeah,
You don't know them.
yeah,
They've probably hurt people. They're a mess. They've made mistakes, but you give them your love. Like love's a verb.
yeah.
You're giving them your love and telling them you're worthy of love. I don't care what you've done. I don't care who you've hurt. You could tell me, I'll still love you. You don't have to tell me, I'll still love you.
Yeah.
Like you're worthy of love. You don't have to earn love. You're entitled. Like I think the most I'm not, Christian. I wouldn't identify as Christian, but like I think the most radical thing Jesus was suggesting is that we are transformed by the act of loving. Like that we are transformed by radiating love. Like that the kingdom of God is within you and all around you, and that everyone is worthy of your love. Your enemy is worthy of your love. Like we're all worthy of love.
Well, that's the thing with AA too. It's about love and service, and that's like many people have said that too. And what's interesting is like, when the Buddha came out from the Bodhi tree and had his enlightenment, the first, for the Noble Truths, the first speech he said, the first thing he said is, all beings are suffering. And I was like, wow, and that's because of the attachments to what we have. Attachments to getting old, attachments to dying, attachments to losing people.
Well, and suffering too and pain are different.
Yes, correct.
Like pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional.
Correct.
Like suffering is our reaction to pain. Like pain is happening. And so that's what I try, like in my work. Like I try to show my clients that like, yeah, you're in pain. Like you're in pain, and pain is part of life. Like life is pain. Anyone who says otherwise is selling something.
Yeah.
So now the question is how much suffering are we going to let that pain create? Because I know when I'm in pain, like an animal in pain, I'm more likely to lash out at others or myself. I'm going to hurt others, I'm going to hurt myself because I'm in pain, and I'm going to turn my pain into suffering that way. And I don't, I think if we were, again, if we created a way for people to understand that or be told that, but some of that is a function of like the idea that, because I have to tell you, I think it's easier to love than to accept love.
Yes.
Like I'm
Absolutely.
really good
Absolutely.
at falling in love.
I was just going to say
I'm
that.
really
That's
good
so
at
crazy.
falling in love. I'm really bad at accepting that someone really loves me. I'm convinced that if somebody loves me, they just don't know me that well.
Or
yet.
I'm like, I'm convinced they love me, I'm like, what's wrong with them?
Yeah, right.
That's
like, how are you so fucked up that you love me?
I mean,
there's 8 billion options. This one?
Yeah.
You signed up for this one?
Yeah,
Like,
what's wrong with you?
Yeah,
You know,
you must be fucked up too. Yeah.
and that's the work, that doesn't happen over frickin' night.
Yeah,
it's,
but isn't it funny that that's the hardest part?
Yeah.
Is not loving,
Yeah.
but accepting love and being loved and letting yourself be loved. And that's fucking hard, man. That's hard. I don't know that, like I said, I don't know that that's not a struggle that all of us will just, continue to wrestle with for the rest of our lives. And again, maybe, what is the, like, to turn it back to the two-leg dope, like, because what is opiates but a cure for pain?
Yeah.
It's
all reaching for an outside
That's all
thing,
it is.
for
Yeah,
an
like
internal
just get
problem.
rid of the pain. Okay. So what is the pain that the two-legged dope is trying to numb for us? Like, what is the pain we're trying to escape? What's the high that it gives us?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes chaos feels like love because you don't know what calm love felt like because of maybe your childhood and stuff, It's there's just so many deep layers. And you said that the other day, Mark, and I'm bringing it up again, but you're like, most everybody I interview, it's because they had a bad childhood. And not that everybody's had a great one, but there's some more than different. And, you start seeing those patterns as a kid and the trust and the parents and this and that, and we all have our growth. And like you said, it's harder to accept love, than to love or what I think is love, like, am I getting a hit on this two-legged dope, or is it like, that's the other thing. That's why I have SLA, that Sex and Love Anonymous, because people, there's the sex thing, but then there's the love thing, and I've always been kind of the romantic, the fantasy of, this is going to be great, that's
that
second
illusion.
date,
Yeah. But I've always understood sex and love addiction, particularly love addiction, as being about like that level of codependency of if you love me, then I could love me, but if you don't love me, I don't love me. Like my
Yes.
worth is determined by your assessment of me.
Yes.
And so that's tricky, and that's what the dope is for, like that's what that is this shot of like, it's a shot of very powerful, because those first days of every relationship, like you're interested and you're interesting. You're like so turned on intellectually and physically. Like it's such a flood of like hormones and emotions and pleasure and fear and like all the heightened senses are all just coming at you all at once.
It makes heroin look like Flintstones.
For real.
Vitamins.
And it's been around a hell of a lot longer.
Yeah.
And it's been making people make bad decisions since the dawn of time. Wars. I say to people all the time, people are like, I can't believe that case got so ugly. I'm like, people have fought wars over a woman.
Yeah.
Like 6 inches rules the world.
Yeah.
Like we will do anything for this thing,
Yeah. That's so true. It's so funny to sit down and just like I said earlier, that we relate in such a way of, we watch each other's things, but we never met. But I can feel your authenticity and your pain that you've gone through. And the same thing I have, and I think that's one of the most beautiful things is what AA is too. Is we're sharing our pain with each other, so we can kind of grow and realize. Because the worst thing is when someone's going through something like cancer or whatever it is, or addiction. The worst thing that can happen to someone is to think that they're alone. Yeah. That's the deadliest place a person can go.
Yeah, and I think that's what like I said, I think that's what the devil wants to do to everybody, is make you feel alone.
Yeah.
Because I think if you feel alone, you're more likely to just like make the worst of decisions, to just believe the voices in your head that tell you that you're awful. Like, and I think, but that's, I guess what I was, like, I think we break in relationship and we heal in relationship. Like, and I think that like when, you get your heart broken, someone cheats on you, you're not gonna heal thinking about that. You're gonna heal by like trusting someone again and having them be worthy of that trust.
Takes time.
Yeah, like it just takes, like we break in relationship, we heal in relationship. Like you don't learn how to swim by reading books about swimming. Like you learn how to swim by being in the pool, And like I'm telling you, like I think that's why I still very much believe in love, because I still think that it's the most transformative healing thing.
Yeah, which is interesting because from an early age, it comes from trust. So, when you're molested in a household, you start losing trust, right? As a child, then my first sexual relationship was with my dad's girlfriend. He laughed about it later. She was Miss Universe, so it was okay. But I was 14 and she was 26, so they would call that rape. But I was like, this is winning the lottery, But that's around secrecy again, and not
right. I was going to say,
you're,
that teaches you so many lessons that, and what's interesting about that, and I'm not downplaying. I think, of course, it's worth and sometimes the best way to heal anything is to find the part of it that's funny and laugh at it. But it's also that's also there's a lot of lessons learned in there. Yeah. Your first love, your first experience of this beautiful thing that you're going to experience for the rest of your life, and it's the thing that creates life. Sex is amazing. It's the most phenomenal feeling. It's all those things. Your first experience of that was a secret.
Yes.
Your first experience of that was something that you're supposed to hide. It's something that you shared with a parent that should not be shared with a parent necessarly.
It's a lot of the same with molestation too.
Right, right. But there's so many things in there that you just go wow, what all the lessons that taught, good and bad. And by the way, all of these things, I told my dad, my dad got sober 9 years ago.
Oh, wow.
In his late 70s. And
wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's crazy. And I remember.
That's hard to do.
Yeah.
People say it's harder to get sober when you're younger. It's not, because when you're older, you're so stuck in your ways and all the wreckage you've created that it's hard.
Yeah, and when he got sober, for me, it wasn't easy, because I at first I was like, oh, this isn't real. This isn't happening. And then it was real. And then I was mad. Because I was like, where the fuck was this guy?
Yeah.
Where were you when I was 7? Where were you when I was 14? Yeah. Where were you when I was 30 and getting divorced? And he all of a sudden had an emotional vocabulary, and all of a sudden he was like, hey, I love you, I'm proud of you. Words I'd never heard from him before. And instead of hearing them and going oh wow, thank you, I've wanted to hear that, I was mad.
Yeah.
I was like, what? What, you want to go out back and have a fucking catch now?
Now, I know.
Now?
Yeah.
I'm 40-something years old. I learned how to not need this.
Yeah.
I learned how to not have you. And now you want to go back and have a fucking catch? No, man. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Now you're like a beggar with a cup out. You want me to hang out with you. No. I wanted that my whole life so fucking bad, I would have given up a fucking leg for it. And now you have it and you're offering it to me, and I don't. And then I went, okay, I got all that out kind of in my therapy and in my head.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I actually really kind of want to have a dad.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to have a dad, And ever since then, I made room. And all of a sudden I have this person, and he's in his 80s, and I don't know how many more years I have, but man, you know what? He's a whole different person. He's a whole different person.
That's also beautiful, that the work you did on yourself, because I relate to that too. The being molested, all the stuff as a kid, I'm like, well, where was my dad? He was never around. And so that same thing you're saying, you're like, oh, now you want to show up? That's stuff that I've had to work on through the years.
But that's our stuff.
Yeah, that's our stuff.
And that's our stuff that we're carrying around, and that stuff you will crush yourself under the weight of that.
Yeah, it's like shame on you once, but if I'm continuing to live in that, shame on me, and we've worked out over time, the relationships and stuff, because I felt like I had no protection, and what I realized is he was having to support a whole family, brothers, sisters, work, and my mom had remarried, and so I didn't realize as a kid, you don't realize that, but now being a father and seeing that, you start to change your, it really humanizes.
But I think still understanding that it's okay to feel all of those things.
Yeah.
It was okay to be mad at him for that, and then it was okay to let go of that, and it felt really good to let go of that, and it felt really good to say, okay, I'm gonna let go of that. And also my dad, when he was first working the steps, he was trying to look at all the ways that he'd hurt people and try to make amends and things like that, and I could tell that he was really wrestling with that, because he would say to me sometimes, Yeah, like I wasn't a good dad a lot of the time. Like I really feel a lot of, like I have oceans of regret about that. And what I had to sort of acknowledge and was happy to say to him is I was like, Dad, like I love my life. Like I love my life. Like I love who I am. I have 2 amazing sons. I have deep, fulfilling relationships. I have a career I fucking love. Like my sons have a father who's deeply emotionally present. They have a father who's never had substance use issues. They have a father who is incredibly supportive of them. They are soft as fucking Wonder Bread, my sons. They are. But
It's okay.
I wouldn't be me. And I love me. I love my life. I wouldn't have this life if I hadn't had a dad who drank Cutty Sark in a coffee mug. Like, so I said to him, I'm like, I'm not saying if somebody said, you know, how do you produce really wonderful children who have a great life? I'd be like, well, first of all, be a fucking drunk, you know? Like, I wouldn't say that. But I wouldn't be me if it wasn't for all this pain. It wouldn't be me if it wasn't for all this loss. Like, you wouldn't be you if it wasn't for all of the shit that happened to you. And like the people that love you, they kind of have to love everything that happened to you because you wouldn't be you.
Correct.
Right here, right now, you, if it wasn't for them.
What do you think from your dad is the biggest thing you learned? Like that you know, if there's a thing that...
From his sobriety or from his alcoholism or from
all of
his
it,
totality?
his whole life from that, you know...
I think from his alcoholism, I learned that, I mean, I learned a lot of really painful lessons. I learned that you can't trust your own experience. I learned to be vigilant, hyper-vigilant. I actually learned all the things that make me a good courtroom lawyer.
Yeah, did you also have the not knowing what you're going to get when you walk in the room?
100%, 100%.
So
but also, like, more than
tiptoes.
that, like, it's what made me such a great trial lawyer. Because I can one sentence, and I would know if he was drinking and how drunk he was.
Yep.
Like, I could call the house and just the hello, how he said, if it was hello or hello or hello, I knew, okay, how much has he had?
Yeah.
You know, and like, so I became so hyper vigilant and so close, and I had such control issues and such hyper, that I tell you, in a courtroom, on cross-examination, it makes me a fucking weapon because I can watch every minutia of what you do and I know what's going on. Like, and I that's all from growing up in an alcoholic household. Yeah. And so he gave me a huge skill set with that. Yeah. What did I learn in his recovery? I think I learned about redemption. Like I learned that I was certain that there was nothing inside of him that was introspective, that there was no, that he had no emotional vocabulary and he never would, that was missing in him.
Generation.
Yeah, listen, my father had every reason in the world to drink his pain away. He graduated from the Naval Academy in 1966 and went right to Vietnam. All of his friends died, everyone, like everyone. Every man in his wedding party died in Vietnam. Like, when I was a kid, you did not take out my parents' wedding album because all of these beautiful 21-year-old gorgeous young men in this white uniform were all fucking dead in a rice paddy. And he came home and got spit on at the airport and called a baby killer. And this is a man who grew up poor in Virginia with nothing and went to the Naval Academy because it was the only place you didn't have to pay to go to school. And he went and lost everything and then came home and there was nothing for him. And the only thing he had that made him feel better was the cartons of cigarettes they gave you for free and booze. Yeah. And so I have zero right to judge him for what he went through. Like my father, and his father beat him and locked him in closets and was a drunk. Yeah. And so, like, my father had every reason in the world to be the person that he was. I say that now, I see that now, but as a kid, I just wanted my dad. I just wanted a dad who loved me and wanted to hang out and tell me he loves me. It's all you want. When you're a kid, it's all you want.
But he's done better than his dad. And now
so much better
than your dad.
And I have to tell you, and I said that to him in our post-recovery connection. I was like, Dad, like, you move the ball further. Yeah. And then I moved the ball further. Yeah. And you know what? I really hope my sons will move the ball a little further. Yep. Like I hope, because I have lots of flaws. I'm a workaholic. Like, you know, work is my favorite narcotic.
Yeah.
Like every time in life I'm feeling something I don't want to feel, I go to the office because I'm so good at it. I know all the rules. I know just what's expected of me. I don't know what the fuck to do in my living room, but man, I'm good in the courtroom.
Yeah.
So that's just an addiction. That's just something
Yeah.
I do to not feel what I would have felt if I'd done nothing at all.
You're so aware. It's amazing.
But I that is hard-won introspection.
Yeah.
And my father, my sons, I've said to them, I'm like, I hope that you now will move the ball a little further. Like you won't hide from your feelings in your work. You won't define yourself by your career. You won't feel that you're worthy of love because you're really good at this thing. You won't think that if you could get money, you're going to feel good. You'll realize that, there's only two amounts of money, enough and not enough. And that's it. Like you won't. So I hope that's what happens, is if we can move the ball a little down the line, that's all you can hope for.
Yeah, it's never enough. Anyway, with financial stuff or money or work. Work, like you said, it's just a thing for me to get high on. But I love it. What I realize is, like, for my family, they did the best they could, but I'll tell you, I don't know what to do, but I definitely know a lot of things not to do as a parent.
Right.
So it was a great lesson in helping me.
Yeah, well, my mom...
And I'm not perfect, that's a hard thing, especially when you went through cancer and a relapse and addiction, that's, you start, like judging your parents less and less and less, and...
Well, or you look at it like, you are perfect, we're all perfect, and we're with our imperfections, like that we don't have to be flawless to be perfect. Like I think we're human, and it's okay to be human. A lot of my clients are rich, and they're not happy at all. And a lot of my clients are famous, and they're not happy at all. Like, and fame is the mask that eats into the wearer. Like you really believe that, like, if the applause stops, that you're no longer worthy of love and affection and all those things. And my God, like it's intoxicating enough. Like we've talked about the two-legged dope. Like it's intoxicating enough to have one person like you a whole lot. Imagine if you can fill a fucking stadium. Imagine if, like, I have this much celebrity now. Like this much. Like I walk down this street, someone will stop me and go, "You're that divorce lawyer." That happens, for sure. And I have to tell you, it's fucking intoxicating. It's amazing. It is a great drug. Like it is so... Random people call you by name and say shit like, "Excuse me, I don't want to bother you. I just want to tell you you're awesome."
And you get a great table too. I mean,
absolutely. But I mean, think about just the, like, if people just walked up to you a couple times a day and went, "Excuse me, I don't want to bother you. I just want to tell you you're awesome." You're like, Thank you very much. Like, that's lovely. Like, that's, yes, I am, like, that's a really...
Finally, someone who understands.
Really good, finally you see value, But, like, I get emails from people every day. Like, "I just want to tell you, I think you're so great." And how do you not let that in? It's amazing. But it's a fucking drug, man. Like, it's a drug. Like, and then you start, like, okay, how do I have it? How do I keep it? How do I keep it? How do I hold on to it? And you can't. Just like you can't hold on to beauty, you can't hold on to youth, you can't hold on to health. You can't hold on to any of these things. They're all going away. Everything is ending all the time. It's all ending all the time. 100 years from now, no one who loves you will be alive. And 100 years from now, no one you love will be alive. 100 years used to feel like a long time to me. Until I crossed the halfway point of it. Like 100 years doesn't seem so big anymore to me. So when I think 100 years from now, no one I love will be alive, that's fucking crazy. That's terrifying. And everything in the world is designed to take that out of your line of sight. Because if you had it in your line of sight, like, you wouldn't buy what the fuck they're selling. You would focus on other things, more important.
In the East, they say meditate on death. Everybody's like, "That's so morbid," but nobody's ready for when it comes on your door, like we've talked about.
And it comes for everybody. It comes for everybody. It knocks on your door all the time.
What an incredible talk.
No, really. I mean, that's been like,
it's good,
honestly,
man.
like the connection, to have that with someone you just met, and what I love about you is you have such a, deep understanding of yourself, and
Thanks,
a
man.
lot of people.
I think you do too.
Thank you.
I think you do
appreciate that.
too.
Yeah.
Like I actually don't think it's at all surprising to me that we would connect like this, because I
Yeah.
think that how many opportunities do we have to be like so one-on-one,
Yeah.
honest, afraid, raw, flawed,
Yeah.
and to go, yeah, so here's all my stuff, and to have somebody go, yeah,
Yeah.
you're good, man.
Yeah.
Like you're good. Like
Yeah.
you're a good person. Like
Yeah.
you're like, I'm cheering for you now.
Yeah.
Like I'll be cheering for you now, and I know you'll be cheering for me
Yeah,
now.
absolutely.
And like we've built this society where we're fucking surrounded, and we're totally alone.
Yeah.
Like, and this is the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's the whole thing. Like, and we, maybe, I'm not saying for sure. Maybe this is the methadone for the two-legged dope. Is that maybe? I'm not saying it'll get rid of it completely, because there's some stuff that they could do for me that you can't.
Yeah, of course. Well,
I mean, you could, but it
Yeah,
just wouldn't hit the
be a
same.
little weird.
Right, it wouldn't hit the same. I never used to like broccoli, now I love it though.
Yeah,
Who knows?
exactly.
So what I'll say is, but maybe if we did, as men and as women, right, like make more real connections with another person that includes being physically present with them and looking in their eye and like touching them, maybe we wouldn't be so desperate for that. Like we wouldn't be so, I'm not saying we would just like, it would hold no appeal, but like maybe we wouldn't put everything on it. Like we wouldn't be like, oh, finally someone knows me, someone gets me, someone everything. Like we would be like, oh, I have people like that see me completely and honestly. Because how many conversations have you really had? I mean, other than you've had some because you're in recovery, but like even then it's a group.
Yeah.
Like how many times one-on-one have you just sat across from somebody and like just been really raw and honest 100% with who you are?
It doesn't happen in the real world with, hey, how you feeling today? Oh, I'm a little insecure. I'm kind of depressed. I'm thinking about blowing my brains out. How are you doing? You know what I mean? But with people.
Actually, it does in Vermont.
Okay,
Have you
cool,
ever
that's
been
good
to
to know.
Vermont? No,
Yeah.
it's fucked up. My son went to college in Vermont. And I remember in Vermont, because I'm from New York, nobody fucking talks to anybody. Like somebody can just have a heart attack and fall, you just step over them.
That's terrible.
And I remember I went to the grocery store in Vermont, and the girl's like checking me out, the items, and she said, how you doing? I said, good, how you doing? She goes, oh, my cat's been sick. And I was like, wait, what? Like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't say that, but I was like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, you just-
like, no, I gotta carry that around?
Everything's
like, now
fine.
I'm worried about, just, here's how this is supposed to go. How you doing? Good, how you doing? Good.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all we were supposed to do right there.
People don't want to hear more than that.
Yeah, I don't want
They
more than
freak
that,
out.
but the truth is, like, what if? Like, what if you could say to another person, like, because here's what I'll tell you. And maybe I'm weird. I definitely am weird. Like, if I said to somebody, I was sitting down at a coffee place and somebody sat down across because they were like, oh, that's the only place to sit. And I said, hey, you doing? And they said, I'm pretty miserable. I'm thinking about blowing my brains out. I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't be like, well, that sucks, and just go.
Yeah.
I would be like, dude, what's going on? Like, what's going on? Like, I don't know you, but like, maybe the fact I don't know you is a superpower. You want to tell me all of it? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell me all of it. Because here's the thing, I don't know anybody you know.
Yeah.
You're safe. You're safe to tell me every single thing about you. Also, I'm a lawyer, it's attorney-client privilege. Tell me whatever the fuck you want to. Because here's what I'll tell you, I don't know what's going on in your life. Like, I guarantee killing yourself's not the answer. Guarantee. So, talk to me. Talk to me. Like, I have time, I'll make time for that. Yeah. There's almost nothing I could do in the day that would be worth more than that or more important than that. If I could save you, if I could save your life, let's go. Let's go, tell me it. Tell me what's going on. Tell me why you think you're so awful that you need to be deleted. Tell me. And I just don't think, I don't think we've created a society like that, but we also have the right to change it. Like, we can just do it different.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing too. Is like I was saying, like desperation is a gift to change. And like
it's an invitation.
For me, AA, it's like you have to be. I always say to people, you have to be desperate, enough to do this because change is hard. And that's the one thing they always say. The one thing you have to change is everything. You're like, what the fuck? How do I do that? Yeah. So my behaviors are the things that get me loaded or back into toxic relationships, and those are the main things that I have to start working on on behaviors, becoming aware of yourself, which is amazing for me to see, because you haven't had to go through the books and the AA, but you're so self-aware of knowing the stuff, going through your own journey of pain and stuff. I kind of had a booklet. AA was like a roadmap for me to teach me.
But I think that's just even like a tool. Like, look, I think what you just said is true, which is it's like wisdom born of pain. I think we all have wisdom born of pain. And I think that because of that, I have to be grateful for my pain.
Yeah.
Like I have to be grateful for my pain, because like all of that wisdom is born of pain. I think all of the wisdom you're spitting right now is all born of pain. And so I have to be grateful for my pain in that regard.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Well, I'll be cheering for you, man.
Thank you. I'll be cheering for you.
Now you got a lawyer on speed dial too.
Yeah, that's great.
It's like, listen, it's not a bad thing.
I hope we get to continue the relationship.
Yeah, for sure. We will. Yeah, we will. Yeah. I'm not a guy who, Mark will tell you, I'm not a guy who's like, yeah, we should hang out sometime. No, and I legit, I'm like, oh no, if you come in the circle, you're in the circle.
He was singing your praises, and then I like I said, I watched you, and I was really just impressed with
we got a lot in common, man.
Yeah, I know.
We got a lot in common.
That's what's
listen,
so funny.
I'll never have enough people in my life who I have things in common with, who I like. I don't know. There's something so like I really just love people. Like I feel love very, very deeply, and I feel a tremendous like joy in showing up for somebody. Like I still, like all kidding aside, like I love my job and I'm really good at it, and there's a side of me that is the sociopath you want on your side.
Yeah.
But there's also a part of me that's like I think the reason I love this job is it's an opportunity to be of service.
Yeah.
Like it's an opportunity to help somebody navigate something incredibly terrifying. And I have a God-given talent for hand me a pile of chaos and I'll figure out how we can turn this into something.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you're in the club now.
Yeah.
All right. Ashley, a lot of people are praying for you.
Oh, yeah.
And James, a lot of people love you.
Yeah, I really appreciate you putting this together and doing this.
I thought you were going to say a lot of people are praying for you, and Jim, a lot of people are praying for your demise.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was going to a lot of people are going to be like, please, Lord, take Jim.
Yeah,
what did Ash do, for God's sakes,
I think you're better off than me.
I don't know. Opinions vary.
Your mistakes aren't public.
Not yet. Whether a story is a comedy or a tragedy, it depends on when you end the story. Yeah. It's early in the day. I can still really fuck it up. I'm in L.A.
Yeah, I always say L.A. every actor's a six-pack away from sucking a dick.
That's it. That's it. $20 is $20.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks for bringing us together.
Yeah,
what a great
awesome.
talk.
That was really cool.
Thanks to you guys.
Yeah, you got it.
Awesome.
Woo!
Yeah, man.
That was a good one.
That was awesome.
Almost 2 hours.
You got me in there. All right. Yeah. There it is. I mean, I have to tell you, I never thought that I would ever be able to add cover girl to my resume. You know what I mean? Like cover model of Soft White Underbelly too. When I saw this, I was like, wow, I made the book. Like that was very, very exciting. Yeah, I mean, listen, I have to tell you, I have in I have a house upstate, and I have a lot of. I don't collect a lot of things, but I collect signed first editions of like books that have changed my life and that are my favorite things. And on the bottom of the shelf, I have volume 1 and volume 2 of this, both signed by you. And it's great, I have to tell you. I mean, they keep getting better, these books too. But I mean, and not just because I'm a cover model on them, but I don't think it hurts, And I also now I'm just going to start telling people that I'm a model. That's going to be.
Well, you've been such a huge part of this channel. The internet for in general.
I will tell you, Mark, I was a fan of the channel long before I was featured on it, because I used to tell people that it was what I think the world needs, which is radical empathy. I think that if we got, it took me working as a divorce lawyer for a long time to figure out that if you hear people's story, a lot of the things that you would look at and say, oh, that person's weak or bad or evil or whatever, that you would go, oh, yeah, okay. Like if I was raised in that situation or that had happened to me, I would be very different than I am. And I remember the first times I watched your channel thinking, oh, yeah, this is like, this guy gets that. Like he's figured that out. And maybe he's going to try to like let us see it. Like, and maybe if we see it, we'll start to go like, oh, okay, yeah, like maybe I shouldn't be like so completely callous and like pass a person on the street who's sleeping homeless here in the city and go like, oh, get a job, they're lazy or they're a drug addict. It's like, right, but you know, you start to hear the backstories on this stuff. But I also think too, in recent years, I mean, some of the stories you managed to get from people, some of the characters I feel like I've gotten to know on the channel are like, they're like people I know. I mean, it feels like I know them, you know, and I'm cheering for them. And I have to tell you, I think it's in a world where we're so disconnected now, I think having connection, like when I got this book and I went through it, I was like, it was like seeing a bunch of people I know, like, oh, there's Rebecca, you know, okay, oh, there's Alicia, you know, like, and I found myself being like, I rewatched some of the videos that went with the photos, and like it really was like seeing someone that I had some connection to, and then I'm cheering for. And you know, we've had all these people that have been on the channel that, you know, we lose along the way, and then there are people that like you see their redemption arc, and you're just cheering for them. And I don't know, man. I think what you're doing is really, really amazing, and I'm so grateful to be a part of it. It'll always be. I'll always have my first loyalty to this channel because it was, I think, the most important thing I've done.
That's amazing.
Yeah, man.
Jim, you're a work of art.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah,
I appreciate
thank
you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is a great one.